It is almost 6 in the morning. I just woke up. Strong cold brew for me this morning.
Yeah, I got my head up in the clouds and my feet on this here ground. There's a woman over there standing out among the crowd.
Morning comes slowly in Bluffton, Georgia. It's the kind of place where you wake up to the sound of birds, not alarms. The streets are quiet, the air feels lighter, and the world just seems to move at its own pace. Hi. Today, I'm taking you to White Oak Pastures, a farm that's rewriting the story of agriculture.
Where are we going?
Good morning. You want to meet with Will? Have a little brekkie? I love it because we can just walk across the street to breakfast. It's a place where the rhythm of life moves in harmony with the earth and where farming doesn't just feed people, it restores ecosystems. This isn't just about growing food, it's about rethinking the way we connect to the land, the animals, and each other. Oh, it's good to see you again.
They brought my food to me without.
This is Will. He's the kind of man who's grounded in his roots and has a story for everything, and I mean everything. I want the Will Harris special.
I wake up grateful. I go to bed grateful. I got a good job. I'm not a religious person, but I'm blessed. You know,
You're not religious.
I'm not conventionally religious. You know, we don't go to church, but I'm very grateful for the gifts. You know, I tell you, the Harrises. You know, good people go to church. Bad people don't go to church. And the Harrises.
That's ours. White Oak Pastures has been part of this community for over 150 years. For generations, the Harris family farms conventionally, just like everyone else. But about 20 years ago, Will Harris made a bold decision to leave behind the industrial farming model that dominates the U.S. and shift to regenerative farming.
I'm Will Harris. This is my farm in Bluffton, Georgia. It's called White Oak Pastures. I'm the fourth generation of my family to own and operate this farm. I'm assisted today by my two daughters and two in-laws who help manage the farm. Yeah, I don't have to share. I'm an only child, as I told you. I don't have to share my office with anybody, and I love it. Regenerative farming is about understanding the cycles of nature and respecting those cycles and working within them to maximize the abundance that the land spins off. The industrial model that I was part of for the first 20 years I ran the farm was about breaking the cycles of nature. It was about having a monoculture of, in my case, cattle, raising a monoculture of, in my case, Tifton 85 Bermuda grass. And if you were a living creature in my pasture, animal, plant, or microbe, and you weren't a cow or Tifton 85 Bermuda grass, you were the enemy, and I was going to use pesticides to do away with you. And how good a farmer I was a direct result of how efficacious I could use those pesticides. So it's the difference between killing things and keeping things alive.
Regenerative farming doesn't just sustain the land, it heals it. Over 3,200 acres here have been transformed, pulling carbon out of the atmosphere instead of contributing to it. Studies show that regenerative practices can sequester up to 1.5 tons of carbon per acre every year, making it a real solution for climate change. I fell sick in 2017. I had to go back to every habit in my life, down to nutrition and what I was putting into my body. And I went to nutrition school and I learned a lot about the meat industry, and it scared the living hell out of me because I thought, it's not just meat, it's what's going in the meat that's making people sick. Not in Europe or not anywhere else. I thought, okay, in the States here, our meat industry is so toxic, I don't want to put that in my body. So I stopped eating meat for 3 years. It wasn't until I found your farm that I said, okay, I feel safe enough to eat meat again because it's exactly how nature intended. Farms like this are rare. Industrial agriculture, which produces over 99% of the meat we consume, prioritizes efficiency at the expense of ecosystems. It contributes nearly 37% of global greenhouse gas emissions and depletes soil 10 times faster than it can naturally regenerate. But White Oak Pastures flips that model on its head, proving there's a better way. All right, where are you taking us?
We're gonna look at the hogs.
All right, let's do it. What are you thinking you're gonna make it into?
Starbucks.
These pigs live outdoors, doing what they were born to do, rooting in the soil and helping to add nutrients back to the land. It's a stark contrast to the confined spaces of industrial farming.
My name's Jessica Shaw. I'm the hog and poultry manager here at White Oak Pastures. Over 99% of pigs are raised in confinement. These pigs get to feel the earth beneath their feet and the sun on their back, and they get to express their natural behaviors, and we think that's pretty important, even though management-wise it's more difficult than confinement pigs or poultry. We think that it is better for the animal and creates a better product, and it's better for the land.
Next, we're headed to the chicken pastures. Here, chickens play an important role in the farm's ecosystem. After the cattle graze, the chickens follow, naturally fertilizing the soil. This rotational grazing system helps the land regenerate and eliminates the need for synthetic fertilizers.
The animals have an essential role in creating a vital, healthy ecosystem. The animals and the plants and the microbes live in symbiotic relationships with each other. You simply can't have a healthy ecosystem if it doesn't have animals and plants and microbes. They're all essential.
How has White Oak Pastures influenced the local community of Bluffton?
When I made the decision to cease to operate as an industrial commodity monocultural cattle guy, I did it to improve the land and the welfare of the animals. The economic prosperity of the town was not in my equation. Not that I didn't care, I just didn't know how, I didn't think I could do that. This has gone from being an impoverished ghost town, on its way to being a ghost town, to being a very pleasant little place. I'm very proud of it. I need somebody that would do. It never crossed my mind that we could have a favorable economic benefit to the town. It was not in the equation. In the process of changing the way I farm, I went from about 4 minimum wage employees to about 170 people that make well over the county average. And my payroll is literally $100,000 a week. And all my employees live in and around Bluffton except one.
Yeah, I like to walk.
So that's a lot of money changing hands in this tiny little economy. And I have been amazed at the difference it's made. Every species has
Meet one of Will's employees, Justin, who traded city life for a fresh start in Bluffton.
We are Atlanta transplants. My family and I have my wife and my two boys. We just wanted to, after 20 years in Atlanta, check out for a little while, possibly homesteading a small amount. And I said I can always get a job at White Oaks. And a year after living here, here I am. It's definitely, you're here for the community, which is great. That's really the driving force, is I'm not here just to make a sale. You find that in pockets in bigger cities, but here you really are here for the community. So not only do we take care of the guests who stop by and grace us with their presence, we're here to be sure that the folks who have to be here every day have either a warm or a cool place to sit down, some hot food, something cold to drink, depending on the time of year, and that's it. Just take care of what we can so they can do what they can.
He's not going to be out there very long. This is not where I was going, but I thought you might want it.
The relationship between Jenny and her father is rooted not just in farming, but in preserving a legacy built on resilience, trust, and a shared vision for the future.
I've watched my dad be very successful.
he's a 230 pound, alpha male, big chest, the loudest voice in any room. And I've watched him experience so much success. So there's a tremendous amount of temptation to do things the way he did them or continues to do them. One of the best lessons he's taught me is, that whatever you see me or him do, that's great, and you should learn from it. But don't try to do it the way he did it. Do it your own way, because he'll move on and not be able to provide that level of, whatever it was that he did, and it'll be left up to me or left up to Jody or left up to someone else to make happen. And I'm trying to get really comfortable with doing it my way.
Being at White Oak Pastures makes you stop and reflect on the impact of every choice we make. The food we eat and the dollars we spend ripple outward, shaping not only the land, but also our health. Here, the connection between food and well-being is undeniable. Animals raised on diverse, nutrient-rich pastures produce meat filled with omega-3s, antioxidants, and other vital nutrients that support and restore our bodies. Farms like White Oak Pastures go way beyond growing food. They create a blueprint for a healthier future.
I'm very proud of the improvements in the land that we've been able to make. I'm very proud of the perpetual nature of land ownership, the fact that it can be passed down. There aren't many non-depreciating assets out there, but land. They're not, they don't depreciate. They're always worth what they're worth, and in all likelihood, they're worth more and more and more. And it's a privilege to own land.
Doing the best I can.
And as the day came to a close, we found ourselves in the cattle pastures just in time to witness the birth of a calf. And there was something so deeply symbolic about ending the day with a new beginning, a reminder of the cycles that farming is built on. Life, renewal, and growth happening right before our eyes. And then watching this calf take its first step, you can't help but feel the weight of what this place represents. It wasn't about food or farming in that moment. It was about life in all its forms. From the soil beneath our feet to the moments like this. Small, quiet, and profound.
Doing the best we can. Honey, was you leaning close? Tell me I'm doing alright. Tell me that it's so hard, you still got a dog in the fight. We're still standing, doing the best we can. Yeah, we're still standing, doing